Abbotsford takes the opener of the AHL's Western Conference Final with a 3-2 overtime win over Texas. Terrific start to this best of seven. We're breaking it down on Rink Wide. And we welcome you inside our Rink Wide studios in downtown Vancouver, but all the fun was out in the Fraser Valley where the Abbotsford Canucks take first blood in this best of seven AHL Western Final. 3-2 overtime victory. Christian Wolanin, the winner, 5 minutes and 51 seconds into the extra period. What a hockey game. Like the AHL putting on a show. These two teams go back and forth. Disciplined hockey, but hard-nosed hockey. Chances at both ends. The goaltending, for the most part, was really good until it wasn't. And Remy Poirier, who was spectacular for most of the night for the Texas Stars, on the game winner that goes right through him, the point shot. It looked like it was unscreened and uncontested. Christian Wolanin will take it. Certainly the Abbotsford Canucks will take it. They're in the driver's seat. They're up 1-0 now, but as we show you on the live stream, shot that just goes right through Remy Poirier. And Artur Silovs, give him credit. Didn't love one of the goals that he gave up, but it was there when the chips were down. And ultimately, he outstares, if you will. He didn't blink where Poirier did. And Abbotsford comes up with the 3-2 victory. Jeff Patterson with you here in studio. Dave Hall from Canucks Army is going to join us as he has throughout this playoff run. We've got lots to talk about. And again, I just can't get over what a hockey game. A really, really entertaining night for the 5,643 that were in attendance out in Abbotsford. So short of a sellout, I would think with this result, though, and game two coming up on Saturday, a weekend game. We've talked about the struggles of midweek games, selling out the barn there. But no excuses. People get out and support this Abbotsford team that is 3 wins away now from advancing to the Calder Cup final. Former Canuck Cole Lind opened the scoring midway through the first period. Guillaume Brisebois responded. And again, this has been one of the real stories for this Abbotsford team throughout the playoffs is spread scoring. They get 2 of the 3 goals tonight from defensemen. You don't expect Brisebois to contribute a ton of offense, but his second of the postseason, Ty Mueller made it 2-1. Pretty goal and a nice feed from Linus Karlsson, who continues to excel here in the playoffs. It was 2-1 Abbotsford, and it looked like maybe they were going to be able to pull away from this Texas team, but give Texas credit. They're in the Final Four for a reason. Didn't go away, didn't go quietly. They tie the game up, rebound of a long shot that Silovs probably should have been able to handle a little cleaner, but really his only miscue on the night. It was 2-2 after 2. It remained 2-2 through the third period. Texas had its only power play of the night with about 3 minutes remaining after Jonathan Lekkerimäki got called for a high stick, and it was a penalty. But this penalty kill has just been so lights out good for the Abbotsford Canucks, and it came through in a key situation late in the hockey game that allowed Abbotsford to play on, and play on they did. 5.5 minutes, 5:51 of overtime. Wolanin from Sasson and Baines, the official scoring play on the game-winning goal. Actually, they've changed it now. It's Wolanin from Nate Smith and Jujhar Khaira. And that line with Sammy Blais, the 3 of them wrecking balls, wreaking havoc as the night went along. And so they figure in the scoring. But Christian Wolanin is the guy that gets the glory because his first of the playoffs here is the game winner. We got a super chat we'll get to here momentarily. Just want to tell you right off the hop that Rink Wide, as it has been all season long at both the NHL and the AHL levels, a presentation of Bet365. If you want to get in on the action for Stanley Cup playoffs, at Bet365, they got you from game props to player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champs. Oh, it's a little late for that. The Stanley Cup champion and a whole lot more. Whatever your bet, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs must be 19 or older. And we tell you all the time about Super Chats, already one in the queue there, so we will get to it momentarily. Our Super Chat partner all season long, and it's been terrific to work with the BC Mental Health Foundation. And if you've got a super chat, you got a comment that you want to get through to us here at Rink Wide, we'll get you to the top of the queue and make sure that we put it in priority sequence. The super chat charity partner, BC Mental Health Foundation, changing the face of mental health and addiction by supporting breakthroughs in care, public understanding, research, and knowledge exchange. Our super chat, Hugo Mugo starting us off, $5 donation, electric first game, looking forward to the rest of the series. Hey, we appreciate your support there. Keep those super chats coming. Steel Dog says, so who comes down for the big club from Texas? Or for Texas? We'll hit on that a little bit later on because, look, I was out at practice on Thursday, or it is Thursday. I was out at practice on Wednesday. Atu Ratu looks like he's getting close, so the Canucks may get some reinforcements, but now that the Dallas Stars are eliminated from the playoffs, it's quite possible that they beef up their blue line with a couple of guys that were playing deep into the Stanley Cup playoffs. So we will get to that a little bit later on, but we want to focus on this one game. That's why we do Rink Wide after each and every game. This is the 13th game of this playoff run for the Abbotsford Canucks, and they've won their opener in all 4 series. Now, the earlier series, a real premium on getting that first one because they were short in series and apply the pressure. It accomplishes the same thing here, but this is the best of 7. So Abbotsford in a good spot. Texas, not quite that same level. They want the split here early. It's a 2-3-2 format for those that weren't certain about that. So they'll be back at it on Saturday, 7 o'clock face-off out at the Abbotsford Center, and we'll be back with another episode of Rink Wide then. But it is a best of 7. Texas could go down 2-0 and then go home and feel like they're still in pretty decent position. But, boy, now Abbotsford with a real chance to grab this series by the throat with a second victory if they can back up this one with another win on Saturday night. All right, Dave Hall from Canucks Army. We're going to get to him in a moment. He is a presentation of your Pacific Toyota dealers who want to tell you about the Toyota BZ4X, the 100% electric vehicle that's backed by the peace of mind of knowing it's a Toyota. And that spark of joy you get when you pass a gas station knowing that you don't have to stop. There's the added perk of being able to access HOV lanes when you're driving an EV, even when you're all by yourself in the vehicle. Yeah, you can still hit the HOV lanes. All the cargo capacity that you can imagine for family, friends, the kids, the animals, camping gear, golf clubs, you name it. And it can handle any terrain, so it'll take you from the city to the slopes or wherever your life takes you. When you choose the BZ4X, you can get up to a $5,000 incentive. And right now you can finance the 2025 BZ4X LE all-wheel drive from 0.99% APR for 36 months. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Pacific Toyota dealer today. All right, let's get to Dave Hall, who has covered the Abbotsford Canucks all season long and has joined us here through this playoff run. And Dave, we'll get into the details of this hockey game and curious to get your thoughts, but let's just start off with a thought. You've probably heard me say it a couple of times already. Just the level of play from both of these teams to kick off this series.
Yeah, that was a full value game for all the fans, whether you're at home or in the Abbotsford Center. That was just a blast. You can't really say it any other way. It was one of those games where you just thought in the third period it was pretty evident it was going to go to the overtime and it was going to be a dramatic finish. It just had that feeling, right? And from start to finish, this is a series. We saw it tonight. This is going to be a series where it's anyone's game. Even though the Canucks were pressing, the Stars have those guys that can just make you pay off any sort of breakdown. So yeah, full value game for the fans and us over here. So yeah, full credit to the Canucks for that one.
Yeah, high quality hockey. Not that anybody here is in the business of feeling bad for the Texas Stars, but not a particularly glorious game-winning goal in overtime. But hey, you put the puck on net, and sometimes good things happen. It certainly did for Christian Wolanin. Abby will take the victory, but let's just go back and we'll start at the end and reverse engineer the hockey game as we go here. Because there were chances. There were great chances for both teams in the third period to win it. Didn't happen. Get to overtime. And as you said, Texas has more sort of top-end talent when you look at the regular season. They have the leading goal scorer in the American Hockey League. They have this top line coming in that's just been lights out good. Abbotsford's more of the spread scoring, the balanced roll the 4 lines. When it gets down to one game winner take all, a little bit worried that one of the Texas snipers was going to come through and get the job done. But in the end, it is Christian Wolanin with the point shot that goes right through Remy Poirier. I mean, what do you make of that winning goal?
Well, credit to Jujhar Khaira for doing his best Alex Burrows impression there by jumping
Yeah.
up and grabbing that puck out of the air. But yeah, I mean, let's be real. And it's a shame because Remy Poirier had a terrific game. Let's not let's make sure we give credit where credit is due. He played terrific, and so for him to give up that goal, as we see it live right here, bounce, just squeaks right through. Even he looks in, he has no idea how it got through. But it was just one of those games where you knew it was going to come off a goal like that. It just felt like there were too many high end plays being made that you had a feeling it had to have been a greasy one going in. So luckily for us, it was on the Canucks side. For everyone at home in BC, and that's just what it is. But like I said, credit to Jujhar Khaira for keeping that one in for sure.
Cole Lind opens the scoring midway through the first period, his 7th of the playoffs. So he's tied for the AHL lead. Linus Karlsson's at 7 as well. But yeah, I mean, not a surprise given the way that he and his line mates have gone here, particularly in the last round against Milwaukee. Cole Lind comes in. He was set up in front. Cole McCord falls behind the net, creates a little bit of space, and Cole Lind doesn't miss from that spot. So Texas got the start it was looking for. But again, and we've seen this, sort of the second halves of first periods, Abbotsford has done a really good job throughout the playoffs of sort of finding its – and it, look, if people have been watching us since the start of the playoffs, we've kind of harped on tepid starts for Abbotsford and feeling their way. I didn't get that sense tonight. Like, these are just two good teams that were feeling each other out that haven't seen each other all season long. So I didn't really have a problem with the start. Texas opens the scoring, but then I thought, once again, Abbotsford found its skating legs. And once that happens, generally good things happen for the hockey club in terms of offense following.
Yeah, and I'm going to have a really hard time doing farmies tonight because I'm just not going to be able to capture the entire back and forth. Like it was just that second period was just amazing. Like that was probably, if it wasn't the best, it must have been the best period in hockey in the entire American League this year. I swear, like it was just back and forth. I forget what the shot counts were, but it was just a frenzy out there. And what I really liked by the Canucks was it wasn't just that top line. Obviously that line of Mueller, Baines, and Karlsson were flying, but they were getting help from everywhere. Whether it was the fourth line, like the Glover line had a really good shift late in the second period, and it was just a full team effort where I just thought everyone was kind of buzzing. But same thing goes for Texas too. Like it was just back and forth the entire time, and it's just thrilling. Like fans got their full value, like I said earlier in the game.
Guillaume Brisebois ties the game, his second of the postseason, with just over a minute to go. In the first period, sort of fanned on his first chance, but stuck with it and changed the angle enough, was able to slip a puck through some traffic and into the back of the net. So 1-1 after one. And then Texas comes out, a breakaway in the first minute of the second period. Moments later, Artur Silovs with the around-the-world glove save, and that got the people into it. They were chanting Artie all night long. So Texas had some early chances, but then again, we talk about this Abbotsford team that starts to stack shifts, and there was a 5-minute span there where it just seemed, without a doubt, that Abby was going to take the lead, and sure enough, that's what happened. Ty Mueller set up neatly in front of the net by Linus Karlsson. Archie Baines getting an assist as well, made a nice play just inside the line, took a hit to make the pass there. But as I look through my notes, really all of that momentum, not a huge surprise, started with Sammy Blais and his line just in on the forecheck, hammering Texas at every opportunity. Then there was that Victor Mancini dash through the middle. It would have brought the house down. Like they would have been playing that replay on a loop for days had Mancini been able to finish. But ultimately, the ice started to tilt there, and ultimately it was Ty Mueller that put Abbotsford in front for the first time.
Yeah, it was just a build. It was a build until they eventually just got one past Texas. I mean, look at Victor Mancini here, just completely flat-foots the Stars defenseman there. But yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because Artie Silovs, before that Ty Mueller goal, he made three. He made another toe save in that sequence as well. So he made three very tough stops, all in a quick sequence there, which just which started that whole run. And then Sammy Blais, you know, we kind of ragged on him a little bit in the third round, rightfully so. He made some, you know, some undisciplined calls, but he was back to his first two series forms. I thought, you know, he was being disciplined, but he was doing his usual, hitting everything. He was even, you know, I thought he could have probably had a goal or two tonight as well. And so, you know, as he had for the first two rounds, he kind of started the whole build, and then as they just build it up, you just knew it was gonna come eventually. And you know, that's a great play by both Archdeep Baines to stop up the play and then send that backhand pass, and then Linus Karlsson to fake the shot there and find Ty Mueller. That line has just been playing great. They hadn't played together all season long, and then they found each other in Game 5, combined for a few goals in that one, and now tonight they did what they did tonight. So yeah, here it is right here, just beautiful. So yeah, good for them. It was a nice way to cap it off, because there was a couple times in this playoffs where they've had those buildups that hadn't gone to an actual goal. So it was nice to actually see them get credit for their, you know, that pretty big buildup there.
I like the big fake slap shot by Linus Karlsson, and he just slips it across there, and Mueller going to the front of the net. You're going to hear Ty Mueller's name a little bit later on. Spoiler alert, when we get to the 3 stars again. Just so impressed that the rookie, the role, the responsibility that he takes on there, the trust that Manny Malhotra has in him. And look, it was hard to pick it just about anything in this game. If there was a missed opportunity, it was all of that momentum led to Ty Mueller draws a penalty right after the 2-1 goal. Abbotsford to the power play. Woulda, coulda, you know, they had a chance with a power play goal to sort of break the game wide open, but hey, there's 2 teams out there. Credit Texas and their penalty kill, and obviously the Abbotsford penalty kill was put to the test late in the hockey game, and that was a key moment as well. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say they should have scored on the power play, but it was a great opportunity to extend a lead, and they moved the puck around. I thought the power play, we've talked about power play at different times here in the playoffs where you wanted to see more, and they looked tentative. I didn't think that was the case. It just they didn't put the puck in the net, and so play on at 2-1, and you know, if there was one miscue from Artie Silovs, it was the long shot that he kind of fumbled, and then Strand just got his own rebound and was able to tuck it home to tie the game at 2. So Silovs continues to play well. He's not going to stop them all, but a bit of his, you know, author of his own demise on that one play, just because it was there for him to handle easily on the original shot and get a whistle, and instead puck popped back out into the slot, and Stars pounced on it.
Well, and also, it like he definitely should have had it. And it's unfortunate because that's pretty much his one blemish on the entire game. But also, the Canucks, you know, they played a really good defensive game, but they let Antonio Stranges, who's, you know, a pretty small player, they let him just walk up Main Street there. He just went right through everyone, took a little weak shot, got right past Cole McWard, who was left kind of flat-footed there. So yes, Silovs should have had it, but I don't think Stranges probably should have even got that opportunity to get that rebound. That's pretty much just going through the entire team. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It seems. Unless he's getting a shutout, he typically lets in one of those squeaky goals that we end up talking about in this at least once a game, unless he's getting a shutout, of course. But yeah, it's unfortunate he let that one in. But you're allowed one when you win, I guess.
I'm just looking through my notes here in the third period. It was incredible. Linus Karlsson was alone in front. He was set up, had a glorious chance where he put his hands on his head. He couldn't believe that he missed. Moments later, Phil Giuseppe, one of his 10 shots on goal on the night, which crazy when I see it in the box score. But he was set up by Max Sasson. Really good opportunity to put Abbotsford back in front. That one didn't happen.
Right off the bench.
Nate Smith was set up by Jujhar Khaira with about 9 minutes gone in the period. But Texas had chances as well. A couple of posts. There was the poke check that Silovs had on Blumel, who, again, if people are starting to learn a little bit about the Texas Stars, Mate Blumel led the American Hockey League in goals by 3. Like, he had 39, and nobody else had more than 36 in the regular season. This guy knows how to put pucks in the net in a 2 all-time. Yeah, and Artie Silovs came out, read that play neatly, and with the poke check there. So back and forth they went, and yeah, overtime looming, and then Jonathan Lecker-Mackey had an opportunity and then sort of turned the puck over a little weakly and got the stick up on the Texas player. No question, it was a penalty. Again, on top of this just being an entertaining game, it was clean, it was disciplined. Turned out there was one penalty each way, but again, top end of the Stars lineup knows how to put pucks in the net in a 2-2 game with overtime looming. And that Abbotsford penalty kill went to work again. Just impressive stuff, and got the job done and squeezed this game to extra time.
Yeah, after 3 rounds, to think that they were 97.1% coming into the game, that's unheard of, to be honest. But one thing that I liked, what you said at the very starting of that was just, you rattled off 3 different plays in a quick sequence there. That's from 3 different lines. Like that's 3 completely different lines. And so I've already kind of touched on it, but that's just one thing that I really noticed is just all the lines were kind of rolling. They weren't just getting, and that's what you're going to get from Abbotsford, right? As you've talked about a few times, like Texas has those top end guys, but Abbotsford just has those 4 lines that are, when they're rolling, they're going to get you. And luckily tonight we got to see that, because it doesn't always happen, but when they're rolling, they're going. So that late penalty was definitely nerve wracking. It's one of those, 3 minutes left after such a great game by Abbotsford. You just figure, like, is this really how it's going to end? A crappy penalty with 3 minutes to go, but credit to them, they're 97.1% for a reason. And I thought Lekaramaki, not a very good penalty, but I thought he looked pretty good. Not only like he had some offensive, like he made a nice pass to Phil DiGiuseppe in overtime there, but I also thought he made some real subtle defensive plays. He broke up a few plays that I actually thought I noticed quite a bit from him tonight. So although he hasn't really, he had a really good third round, but he hasn't totally stepped up offensively. I thought tonight he made some real nice subtle plays there on the defensive end.
Playoff high for shots on goal, and yeah, of course they went to overtime, but they went deep into overtime in that game in Colorado when Linus Karlsson scored. So they've been to overtime 3 times now. They're 2-1, so on the right side of the ledger. But even before overtime started, they had reached a playoff high for shots on goal. 46-38 were the shots on the night, 4 apiece in overtime, and Abby wins it by a score of 3-2. So they'll step back and collect their breath on Friday and then get back at it on Saturday. Of course, Sunday is going to be a travel day because they play on Monday down in Texas. So these games are going to come fast and furiously now. And I said a little earlier, I mean, yeah, it's important to get out in front in any series, but more so when at best of 3 as it started and then the best of 5s. Texas knows it played well. I'm sure Texas feels like it could have won and can beat this Abbotsford team. That said, getting the win and knowing that they're probably going to have a full barn on Saturday night, I would imagine it'll be close to sellout. It should be.
Yeah,
people
I think it's close.
Should be getting a real opportunity now. And we saw this in the last round against Colorado, right? Where Abbotsford took the opener, and we said, big opportunity here to, really put the screws to your opponent early in a series. Even though this is a best of 7, opportunity is knocking for Abbotsford on Saturday night.
Yeah, because, if they can pick up a win on Saturday, they go into Texas, if they drop 2, that's too bad. It's 2-2, but they come back home for 3 straight, right? So you get the home ice advantage. So you get that. I think it's just a good opportunity for that home ice advantage, right? So let's hope they can do it. It's going to be, I think, just Game 7. It's just going to be one of those. If tonight's any indication, it's going to be one of those series that's going to go back and forth. So,
well, and it'll be interesting too. Out at practice, watched Aatu Räty skate with the non-playing group yesterday. I posted a little bit of video on my socials. To the eye, he looks pretty close. Like, I think we're going to see Aatu Räty before this series is through. So, again, you get a win here. I don't know if Manny Malholter is going to mess with a winning lineup, but I would think when a player of Aatu Räty's stature gets the green light from the medical staff, they're going to find a way to plug him in the lineup. I don't know who comes out or who deserves to come out, but I'm getting a sense that we're going to see Aatu Räty sooner rather than later here.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge boost. That's their top line center, right? And not only that, we've talked about that power play so often in this postseason, and he's one of their main drivers. He sets up on the half wall there on that power play, and he does really good work. So yeah, it's going to be a huge bout. 40 points in 43 games, I believe he had in the regular season. So at the American League level, a guy like Aatu Räty is a massive boost. So let's just hope. I don't think we ever really got a clear update of what he's really dealing with, but. Nope. Like you said, he was skating and he looks good to come back. So let's hope that they get him sooner rather than later.
Well, I don't know what they do for an encore. I hope Game 2 is at this same level, and I'm going to assume that it will be. And now we can't say that they haven't faced each other. They'd watched a lot of video, I'm sure, but now both these teams into this thing, and it has the makings of what should be a terrific series the rest of the way. Abbotsford takes the opener with the 3-2 overtime victory. Dave, we'll let you go and try and compile the farmies. Again, a lot of material to work with. Always great getting you on, and we look forward already to doing this again on Saturday night.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how I'm gonna capture all that excitement.
You got it.
No, that was a great one. No, I appreciate it, and yeah, we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, there you go. Dave Hall from Canucks Army joining us as he does after each and every one of these Abbotsford games here in the American Hockey League playoffs. A couple more super chats coming in. Tim says, thanks for the coverage, Jeff and Dave. Have the Canucks management ever explained why Elias Pettersson wasn't papered down for the playoffs? No, never got an official explanation. I think, just sort of reading between the lines here, it was a nod to the fact that they believe he's a full-time National Hockey Leaguer and he's left the American Hockey League behind. Now, you can argue, hey, great, he can start in the NHL next year, but he was eligible to play in these playoffs. Look, the success they're having, who comes out if he's around? They don't have to cross that bridge. But, was it a mistake not to have him papered down for the playoffs? Perhaps. But again, I think this was the organization's nod to the way that he played at the NHL level, that they think that this is, an opportunity for others to step in and step up. Canucks fan 94 with the super chat says Mancini deserves to be up with Vancouver full-time next season, and it shouldn't be up for debate. Now, again, Canucks fan 94, thanks for that super chat, contributing to the BC Mental Health Foundation. Look, Victor Mancini's had an incredible playoff run. We showed the highlight of him going coast to coast and really would have blown the doors off the place that he scored there. This is the American Hockey League. And he looks like he stands out at this level. NHL, there's still room to grow into his game. But it absolutely looks like with his combination of size and mobility, it's got the hockey sense. And I like the fact that he realizes that at that level, like, he can be the man quite often on a lot of his shifts. I like the confidence. But the way that he's playing and the way that he controls games here in the AHL playoffs, that's not likely to be the player that he's going to be for the Vancouver Canucks next season. And, of course, Tom Olander wants in on the conversation as well. They're not likely to go with two young right-handed defensemen on a lot of nights out of the gate. As the season unfolds, let's see what happens. It's conceivable that by mid-season, that maybe they are taking more of the long-term approach and trying to get ice time at the NHL level for those guys. We'll have to wait and see. Whatever the case, Victor Mancini's been a ton of fun to watch. And, yeah, it looks like the Canucks got themselves a player. And for how many years have we been sort of wondering, where are they going to get these right-shot defensemen? Well, they got Tom Olander now, and now they got Victor Mancini. So the right side, if those guys stick around and play for the Vancouver Canucks at the NHL level, future looks bright in that regard. All right, appreciate those comments. Quinn says, $50, my ticket tonight. Dave is right, great value and excellent hockey. 10 out of 10 game. It is going to be a great series. Dave says, we'll definitely be driving down from Kelowna when they play the next round. And he's got when in capital letters. Not if, when. Well, 1 down, 3 to go. 7 wins away from hoisting the Calder Cup. But still a lot of hockey to be played. And I think the Texas Stars are going to have a response on Saturday. But hey, maybe Abbotsford will find a way to up its game as well. And we shall see. We shall see. Again, 2-3-2 is the format here. So first 2 out in the Fraser Valley, then 3 down to suburban Austin, Cedar Falls, I think it is. And then game 6 and 7, if necessary, would be back out at the Abbey Center, and they'd be played on back-to-back nights. So if this thing goes the distance, they're going to have played a lot of hockey, they're going to have traveled, and then games 6 and 7 on consecutive nights. All right. Let's get to the 3 stars, as we do here on Rink Wide. 3 stars are a presentation of Greta Bar, and we'll tell you about Greta in a moment. But first things first, 3 stars in the building. Linus Karlsson, star number 1. Christian Wolanin, the overtime hero, is the 2nd star. Remy Poirier, the Texas goaltender, ends up making 43 saves. But, we said bit of a stinker on the game winner. Those were the 3 stars in the building. Our 3 stars a little later, or a little different. Here on Rink Wide, Christian Wolanin, you score the winner. In overtime, you get the glory. There you go. 4 shots on goal as well. And a solid defensive performance. Again, this Texas team boasting this top line that just went off against Milwaukee in the last round. And yes, Cole Lind scored, but for the most part, held the top of the Texas lineup in check. And so it wasn't just Artur Silov's team effort there, and Christian Wolanin, one of the 6 defensemen, getting it done. Ty Mueller was outstanding in this game. A goal, an assist. He's been in on 4 of the last 6 goals that Abbotsford has scored through these playoffs. So this is a young guy being trusted. We talked with Dave about that, but the penalty kill late, who's out there taking the face off and getting the job done? It's Ty Mueller, who got a taste at the end of the season of life in the National Hockey League. I'm sure he wants more. For a mid-round draft pick, this guy is showing remarkably well in his first year as a professional, and he was really good for Abbotsford tonight. And there's old friend Cole Lind, scored 5 shots on goal, looks dangerous, and obviously was a second-round pick because he was dangerous in the Western Hockey League, has been able to produce offense in the American Hockey League. That next level, that remains the issue for Cole Lind, and now into his 3rd National Hockey League organization. But no, he was good in this game, and he opened the scoring with his 7th in the postseason. So Cole Lind, the 3rd star. Christian Wolanin, Ty Mueller, Cole Lind, your 3 stars here on Rink Wide. And the 3 stars are brought to you by Greta Bar. We tell you on every episode what a great place Greta is to watch sports on all the big screens, but they also want you to know they're big on team building and summer social events. If you're looking to get your group out of the office for some corporate fun, or you're looking for a place for a sports team to gather, consider Greta. All the arcade games, the street food menu, the weekly drink specials. Greta Bar, the place to be, 50 West Cordova. Greta Bar, let the games begin. And from the 3 stars, we roll right into the stat that stands out. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but Phil Giuseppe had 10 shots on goal in this hockey game. When I saw he had 8 after 2 periods of play, I was surprised, I have to admit. And I watched the game closely. I think a bunch of them came off scrambles in tight, but then in the 3rd period was set up neatly by Max Sasson for a really good opportunity to break the 2-all tie. Didn't happen. Give Poirier credit. Made one of his better stops on the night, but there you go. The veteran, Phil Giuseppe, had a good chat with him after practice yesterday. Having a ton of fun. Playoff beard, never an issue for Phil. He's ready to go at training camp with the playoff beard. He's got some company now. Abbotsford's got some good, they've been playing for a month now. They got some guys with quality playoff beards, and Phil Giuseppe is one of them. But yeah, 10 shots on goal. I don't care what level. That's going to jump off the page. So absolutely, that's a stat that stands out. PDG getting to double digits in the shots on goal department. The volume is good. The shooting percentage, leaves a little bit to be desired, but he and his teammates win. So no big deal. All right. The stat that stands out, brought to you by Resurrection Spirits. And we're telling you about Bogey Juice, which is crafted with this tantalizing blend of crisp apple flavoring and a kick in ginger for that refreshing zing. Every shot of Bogey Juice like a hole-in-one for your taste buds. It's sweetened to perfection with simple syrup and made even smoother with top shelf vodka. It's the only juice that's guaranteed to make your golf buddies beam with envy despite the score it refers to. You can check out bogeyjuice.com for more info and use the promo code SP15 for 15% off Bogey Juice product and merchandise. Guillaume Brisebois still playing with that full cage. The broken nose suffered early in the last round, but he's a gamer, and he ends up contributing, ties the game at 1. Ty Mueller, and then it was Wolanin. So you look at the goal scorers, Brisebois and Mueller get their 2nd of the playoffs, and for Wolanin, his 1st. In some ways, you look at this and you say, hey, Abby got away with a win with a bunch of offense from guys that maybe don't count on all that much. And so next game, an opportunity for some of the higher scoring guys to step up and leave their mark. Although I say that, like Linus Karlsson was really good again in this game. I thought Archie Baines, we've talked about games where he hasn't been able to leave a mark or didn't leave a mark for whatever. The deciding game against Colorado, and I thought he backed it up. His line, Karlsson, Mueller, and Baines were going tonight. Dangerous on a lot of shifts, making things happen. I thought Archie won more than his share of battles, and we talked with Dave as well. The play that he makes takes the hit to make the pass to Karlsson, and ultimately Mueller scored, and that put Abbotsford in front 2-1, 6.5 minutes into the third period. So both teams, as we said, will catch their breath here. 6 minutes of overtime. That's not going to impact them. I don't know if they will practice on Friday or if they take the day off and come back with a morning skate Saturday. I do know this much, that they'll get back after it 7 o'clock on Saturday out in Abbotsford. That is game 2 of this series, and I'm sure Abbotsford will want to pick up where it left off. All right. Ryan says, just home from the game. Great vibes in Abbey. Team is fun to watch. They are. I mean, these guys are playing hard, and just the definition of a true team. Like, Manny rolls his lines. He's got the 6D. They're doing this. They've got Kudratsev in for game 5 against Colorado. I thought he played well then. He stays in the lineup. Akito Hiroshi, a veteran guy, having to sit and watch right now, and going to have to be patient to wait and see what's going to happen there. And I am curious to see what happens with Atu Ratu and who comes out of the lineup, but you're not going to keep him out once he gets clearance. Now, we had the question earlier in the program about this Texas team getting reinforcements. The Dallas Stars eliminated from the playoffs. Just a woeful performance in the third period against the Edmonton Oilers. So the Stars are done at the NHL level, but not in the American Hockey League. And they've got 2 guys that they papered down at the deadline. One is Liam Bichsel, the massive, like 6'7", 235-pound defenseman. The other is Tim Petrovic, who played parts of the season. Is it Tim or Alex? I think it's Alex Petrovic. But he spent much of the season in the American Hockey League. And then, Alex Petrovic. This is a second-round pick. Guy is 33 now. Just looking at his, 58 games for the Texas Stars, but played 5 games in the National Hockey League this year. So they papered him down. It sounds like he is going to join the group. I don't know if they'd put him on a flight tomorrow to get to Abbotsford for game 2 when this series is headed for Austin on Sunday and game 3 on Monday down there. So we'll see what happens. But the Texas Stars could find themselves with some reinforcements on the back end. So, hey, both teams with a chance to add players that touched National Hockey League ice this year. Maybe it just makes this series that much better. So we'll have to see what happens as things move along. Tim Petrovic's a golfer, if I'm not mistaken. Alex Petrovic is the guy that I wanted to talk about. All right. We mentioned the fact that the series will resume on Saturday out in the Fraser Valley. While this is going on, there's baseball being played here in Vancouver. Yeah, the Canadians are home all week, and it looks like the weekend weather's supposed to be pretty good. So they got a Friday nooner coming up, and then there's a family fun Sunday where the kids get to run the bases after the ball game. And now that we're down to the final few days of May, the C's want you to know about some of the great June promotions that are coming to the ballpark in the weeks ahead. There's the Dog Day. You can take the pooch to the park. Blue Jays Day. Marvel Superhero Day. I'm sure it'll be some fun as well. For the full game schedule, the promo schedule, and for tickets, check out CanadiansBaseball.com. We're down to the Final Four in the American Hockey League playoffs. Obviously, Abbotsford and Texas in the West. And when we look at what's going on out east, Charlotte's not messing around. The Checkers are already up 2-0 on league-leading Laval with wins on the road on Wednesday and then again here on Thursday. They took the opener 5-1, And the Game 2 final was 5-2. So Will Lockwood and the Charlotte Checkers are now heading home with a 2-0 lead in that Eastern final. Laval won the regular season. It's a good team. We'll see how it responds here. Charlotte was a good team, too. I mean, Charlotte finished 4th in the overall standings. Abbotsford was 5th, by the way. So if Abby does get through Texas, take on the winner of that Laval-Charlotte matchup, the Eastern opponent's going to have home ice. If you were wondering, because Laval was 1st, Charlotte was 4th, Abbotsford was 5th, and this Texas team was 10th in the American Hockey League during the regular season. All right, a couple other thoughts here as we go. Again, just impressed with the way that Abbotsford has this ability to kind of turn up the heat. And we saw it in Game 5 against Colorado, saw it at times here as well, unable to pull away from the Texas Stars, but in the end, doesn't matter if you win by 5 or you win with a squeaky one in overtime. A win is a win at playoff time, and Abby got the win to get things going here. Christian Wolanin from Nate Smith and Jujar Kyra. That is the official scoring play, 5:51 of sudden death overtime, and Abbotsford takes the first game of this series. We mentioned the fact that shots were 4 apiece in overtime, 46-38 on the night. So the first time that Abby gets to 40 shots on goal, I think 39 was the high here in the playoffs. They'd done that twice earlier, but this time they crest 40 and they top out with 46, and that 46 shot found its way through Remy Poirier and into the back of the Texas Stars net. So a win is a win, an overtime victory for the Abbotsford Canucks. Good on them as they look to pick it up and move on, back it up with another victory on Saturday night. A reminder to check out Dave Hall's work at Canucks Army, the Farmies, his full report with all the video highlights as well. If you didn't watch this game, but you want to see some of the highlights compiled in one place, easy to find, easy to read, Dave Hall's got you covered with the Farmies, and he does that terrific work after each and every Abbotsford game, regular season and here in the playoffs, and good enough to give us a few minutes of his time after every game as well. So we'll catch up with Dave again in the next episode of Rink Wide. That'll come your way on Saturday. Of course, Canucks Army covering Abbotsford, but also keeping a close eye on what's going on with the big league team as well as the Canucks look to round out their coaching staff. And look, we're a month away from the National Hockey League draft, so already some draft preview material up there if the Canucks hold on to their 15th overall selection. Trade targets if they elect to choose or they elect to peddle that 15th pick and try and bolster their center ice position via a trade. So make sure that you're looking for all of the fresh content that is there daily at Canucks Army. You got Canucks Convo every afternoon. Matt and Blake here with Sakaris and Price in the noon hour as well. So lots going on under the Nation Network tent, and we are part of it here, delivering Rink Wide after each and every one of the Abbotsford Canucks playoff games, and one down here in the Western Final, next one on Saturday. So that is going to do it for us. Jacob Lazar, our technical producer, staying up late, keeping us in line, making us look good on the live stream. And we thank everybody that contributed with those super chats and all of the chatter that's taken place in the YouTube live chat. Lots of people with lots of thoughts about this Abbotsford team, and we'll see how far they can push this playoff run. 1 win down, 3 to go in this series, and then on to the Calder Cup final if they can dispatch the Texas Stars. 7 o'clock Saturday. That is the puck drop for game number 2, and then we'll be on right after the final buzzer. So for Jacob Lazar and for Dave Hall, my name is Jeff Patterson. Thanks so much for joining us here on this episode of Rink Wide Abbotsford.